philosopher.
Hey, this is Gary at Terra. Thanks so much for joining. We have a special tour of a shell and beach walk tour down here at Johns Pass Village, meeting at the sandbar. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for joining.
Good afternoon, this is Gary at Terra, and I am so excited today. We have a very special treat. Today I'm going on a shell and beach walk tour with Wendy, who is the tour guide and owner of the Shell and Beach Tour. So Wendy, if you wouldn't mind, just tell us a little bit about what one can expect when they go on your tour.
Well, hi everybody, and I'm so glad that Gary is here to take the Shell and Beach walk. So the tour is about 90 minutes. We talk about shells, seabirds, and sea turtles, and it's a lot of fun.
Lived in Florida a long time, picked up a lot of shells along the way. So if we want the shells, do you recommend we pick them up? Do we go buy the store ones, or what do you think about that?
That's actually a great question, Gary. A couple of things to that. One, you never want to pick up a shell that's alive. So that's number one, it's illegal, and number two, you kill the animal in it. So you just want to leave those be. But if the shell is empty, have at it. Enjoy it. I don't recommend you buy them at the store, because sometimes there's an industry where people will go and kind of wipe out a colony of mollusks, which are the animals that live in the shell, in order to get the shell to sell it. So we don't want to be killing things where we can just go out and pick up our own empty shells on the beach. So that's a great question.
But you're actually a Florida master naturalist. Can you tell us a little bit about what that means? So what makes your tour a little different than just taking a walk along the beach, maybe?
Sure. I'm a Florida coastal master naturalist, and the Master Naturalist program is basically a program for educators who are educating people about the coast.
Well, very good.
And I also am a sea turtle tracker volunteer, a bird steward, which means I babysit birds as a volunteer in the summer, and I have a strange one, a shell certification from the Bailey Matthews National Shell Museum down in Sanibel.
Okay.
So it's a hobby that I love. I've just always been on the beach, but I've also done a lot of classes because I just love it. So.
We're going to pick up a little bit more on the beach and along through your tour, and then we'll probably come back and talk afterwards. So we really appreciate it, and I would be remiss in saying that we start out at the Sandbar, which is a local ice cream place here at Johns Pass Village. So if you're in the area, I just enjoyed a scoop of ice cream. It's delicious. So be sure to enjoy that on a great day. So we'll talk to you in just a little bit. Thanks for joining.
As we start the tour at Johns Pass, there happens to be tons of birds around, and Wendy shares these with us. From the pelicans to the wood storks. Well, I'll just let you hear from Wendy.
Black skimmer is unique because it's a beach nesting bird. It's a bird that makes its nest on the beach. And a lot of people say, wow, that's kind of wacky. I thought birds nested in trees. There are some birds that nest on the beach. And the black skimmer is one of them. A sea grape. It's got these very broad leaves. And if you look right up where I'm pointing, do you see what looks like little grape clusters? Can you see them? So that's why they're called a sea grape, and they're just finishing. They bloom in the summer. As I said, we have kind of three areas that we discussed. We did our seabirds. Now we're going to talk about our shells. On to our shell segment. As I said, we have kind of three. You ever see bubbles where the water breaks? A lot of that is these variable coquinas that are sending up some air bubbles, and these are popular food for a lot of birds and other animals on the beach. As a matter of fact, this shell right.
After learning about the shells, we'll scurry to the beach. We search for seashells on the seashore.
You have one? Okay, good. You want to hold on to those? And afterwards I'll make the necklace. I thought it would be done. I would agree with that. Plastic does not. Plastic is very
Wendy now talks a little bit about conservation and the impacts of plastics and other man-made materials. The tour finishes up with a discussion on turtles and some of their nesting and migration habits.
In the morning, the turtles
So we just wrapped up the shell and beach tour here that Wendy sets off at Johns Pass and Madeira Beach. It's great information. So I'm trying to think, it's always what can you get out of what interesting things. So a couple of interesting things I got out of it is why are there small holes sometimes in shells? She solves that mystery for us. She also talks a little bit about sea turtles and the migration they make, and why turtles make one of the longest migrations of any animal. So that's something that you'll learn, and you'll want to come check it out. And the last thing from a conservation standpoint is obviously whenever the sea turtles hatch here in Florida and other places, one of the things to keep in mind is whenever you dig a hole in the beach, always fill it back in before you leave for the day. Have fun while you're here, but then fill it in, because small turtles, as they're making a migration back, or their initial movement into the water after they hatch, they need to stay out of those holes. It's really easy for them to get trapped. So a few good things that you learn, in addition to a lot of other things in identification of birds, shells, and other items. It's really informative, it's fun, it's educational. So thanks for joining today. Find your adventure.
For more information, here's the information for Shell and Beach Walk Tour. Please visit their website. At the conclusion of the tour, we came across these wood storks who have that Halloween feeling.